Welcome to another OU Insider Under the Visor YouTube Live, powered by Riverwind Casino. As always, lots to talk about. Transfer portal, defensive coordinator talk, OU basketball. Can they tank any more than they've already tanked? But we're also going to try to give away 2 tickets to none other than the OU Texas rivalry game on Wednesday night. That will be for the super chat. Once you all reach, we'll put it in the drawing. Everybody that does the donations, all that type of stuff. You know the drill. Parker will explain that further. There is a lot to talk about here on this version of the OU Insider Advisor YouTube Live, powered by Riverwind. But Parker, let's pay some bills before we get into everything that we're going to talk about.
Yes, indeed, folks. This podcast, or this live stream in particular, is brought to you this week and every week by the great folks at Riverwind Casino. And Sooner fans, you deserve the ultimate gaming experience. That's Riverwind Casino. It's been the Metro's premier gaming destination for over 18 years with over 2,800 electronic games, table games, bars, and dining options, plus the best live music in the Metro. It's no surprise that Riverwind is always a good time. Now, this pod, or this stream, I should say, is also brought to you in part by Prize Picks. What is Prize Picks, you ask? Well, it's the best place to get real money sports action. They've made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players, individual stat lines for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. Again, you can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks, which now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Right now, the Ravens are on a heater. I like Lamar Jackson this week to eclipse his passing yards and total touchdowns numbers. So if you want to tail us or you want to run your own game, you can do that at Prize Picks. So download the app today and use code OU Insider to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code OU Insider will get you $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Also got to get a quick word in for the folks at Rocket Money, and I have downloaded the Rocket Money app. It's fantastic. It tracks your spending, helps you get rid of unnecessary and unwanted subscriptions that you probably forgot about, and just generally helps you get a better beat on your bank account and your expenses every month. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals fast with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/game on today. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. Rocketmoney.com/game on. Now, you may be wondering, why is Parker cosplaying as Drumm and wearing a backwards hat? Well, it's because part of the deal in last week's Super Chat Challenge was that if you guys hit the Super Chat goal, that I would wear a backwards hat. Drumm wore a suit last week. I'm wearing a backwards hat this week. But just to explain the Super Chat function to any of y'all that might be new here, we cannot, because of how many of you guys tune in and interact throughout the show, we cannot get to every one of your questions in the YouTube chat. But the pledge that we make to you every week is that we will get to any and all super chats. A super chat is a question with any amount of money attached to it. Could be as little as $1. Could be, I mean, we've had people drop $100 contributions, even $500 contributions on a couple of occasions. So if you throw us a super chat, we will answer your question. We will discuss the topic that you want discussed. The goal tonight is 10 contributions of at least $20. Assuming we hit that threshold, what we're going to do is we're going to give away a free OU Insider t-shirt to one of the contributors that chipped in $20 or more. And we're also going to, at random, give away 2 free tickets to OU Texas men's hoops on Wednesday night. So in order to be eligible for the drawing, 2 things have to happen. You have to submit a donation via the super chat of at least $20, and we have to get to 10 total. Mongo has already dropped us a $100 bomb.
Dude,
So thank
wow,
you, Mongo.
thank you.
You will be entered into the drawing to win a t-shirt and or that pair of OU Texas basketball tickets. So Mongo's in. He said, I would like Brandon and Parker to answer super chats in only haikus. I love that challenge. I'm going to try to do exactly that.
Oh,
Brandon, you down? You,
I don't know how to speak haiku as well as you probably, so I'll try.
do you know the structure, though?
Yes.
575?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Perfect. That's all we need. Mongo, challenge accepted, in the words of Barney Stinson. We are going to do our best. Whatever super chats are answered throughout the show, we will answer them in haikus and then obviously elaborate further on the haikus. But I love that. That's maybe my favorite super chat that we've ever received. Mongo, love the challenge that comes attached. We'll do our best tonight. I guess the natural place to start here is that Oklahoma had Denver Harris on campus Saturday, Brandon. That was a little bit of a surprise. That kind of snuck up on us. We were
It
told
did.
midweek last week, hey, Oklahoma's done. They're waiting for the spring portal. There's nothing left for them here in this winter window. And then boom. We head down to San Antonio for the All-American Bowl, and here comes Saturday, and Denver Harris is on campus. Now, for those unfamiliar with Denver Harris, here's the backdrop. Here's the background information of which you need to be aware. Former five-star prospect, number 21 overall prospect in the 2022 recruiting class. He was a member of that legendary class, and that's where the legend starts and stops for those guys at Texas A&M. It was,
Mhm.
to that point, the highest rated class in the history of modern recruiting. Over half, and I believe at this point, over 2/3 of those guys have since transferred and are going to finish their collegiate careers elsewhere. But Denver Harris spent a year at Texas A&M, then he transferred, spent a year at LSU, then he transferred, spent this past season at UTSA. The season comes to its conclusion, and he decides, I'm going to get in the transfer portal again. And so here we are, and he's looking for school number 4 in 4 years. And it may very well be Oklahoma, Brandon.
Hmm. Yeah, well, look, here's the thing about Denver Harris. Yeah, the background. Um, Everybody knows he's had some issues off the field, I guess would be the best way to put it, polite way to put it. But overall, he's super talented. He hasn't developed, he hasn't got a lot of, I guess, production on the field. But if Oklahoma was to take him, and it sounds like at this juncture he would be a take, it's more of a risk reward type deal. Like they understand some of the off field issues, but I think where they stand at the cornerback position, they feel like they have enough talent there. They feel like they've got a lot of talent there. You're adding a good depth piece. You're adding a kid that everybody in the country wanted out of high school. You're adding a piece that at one point there were a lot of people saying he was one of the better cornerbacks come out of high school in a long time. And he screwed that up. He screwed that up quite a bit coming out of high school. You're so distracting with all the hat
It
movement
was
over
way
there.
too tight. I had to loosen it
Okay.
up.
Okay. So yeah, look, he screwed a lot of that stuff up, and it sounds like he's growing up and maturing, and you hope that's the case. It's kind of seeing is believing there. Um, but at worst, you're getting a good depth piece. At best, if he develops into that 5-star guy that he was supposed to be, you just had the seal of the transfer portal. And I think that's how Oklahoma's viewing this. Like, okay, if he screws up, he'll probably be gone quicker than you can say boo. So like I don't there unless he brings somebody down with him on the roster, and that's always a chance. And he makes another big mistake doing so. There's not a lot of, I guess, issues. I guess I would venture to say, like, what if he comes in and he is that dude that everybody thought he was because he's finally focused on football? Could you imagine the win-win on that? And you got him at like a reduced price, like at such a cheap price. And that's the other thing. Like You were having to be smart with your money because you don't know what's coming in the portal at offensive line, at D tackle, and potentially wide receiver in spring. And so you're trying to be smart with what you have left so that you have enough money to make a big play or two in the spring.
Now, my knee jerk reaction was I hate it. That was my knee jerk reaction.
Mine too.
I found out Oklahoma had Denver Harris on campus, and I got a couple texts, man, that were along the same lines. One good source down the Lone Star State simply said, "Oh, you can't be that desperate," and I did not like it. At face value, I did not like it at all in an immediate sense.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because my thought is, and I always preface takes like this with, look, these coaches make more money than I'm going to see in a decade, and it's their jobs on the line in 2025, not mine. So by no means am I saying I know more or better than them, but my initial opinion was, why would you do this?
Yeah, I think that
Why
was a lot
would
of
you bring
people's
a
opinion.
guy
Yeah.
like Denver Harris into the program when you know of the checkered past and he has not produced on the football field, at least certainly not commensurate with what you would expect from a former five-star prospect? There were certain folks on Twitter that seemed to warm up to Denver Harris, like be more excited about him than they otherwise would because he has that kind of bad boy reputation. Like, if you just took guys, there's a reason they ascend to five-star status, but he's been to three schools in 3 years. He has 8 career pass breakups and no interceptions.
Right.
And what you're counting on is, oh, he's finally going to put it together at school number 4 in year number 4. Somehow Oklahoma is going to get something out of him that none of those previous schools could. So that was my first thought. My first thought was, when you have the spring window coming, why do you feel the need to go down this route? And the more I thought about it, and I haven't completely changed my stance. I'm not like a staunch supporter of the decision to bring in Denver Harris by any means, because I do think the risk outweighs the reward. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've realized, well, you know what? Maybe it's not that big a gamble if you're getting him at a discount price, as you mentioned, Brandon, and he's not coming in with the expectation of being a starter. What you're bringing another cornerback in for is to be an insurance policy against another catastrophe for Gentry Williams, who's had his issues staying
Mhm.
healthy through his 3 seasons in an Oklahoma uniform. But a healthy Gentry Williams and a healthy Eli Bowen are your starting cornerbacks. You do not have to think twice about that. And so if Denver Harris comes in and he's just a depth piece and he's a guy that plays 15, 20 snaps a game, I don't necessarily think he has to be a lockdown type dude. My concerns are more about what has gone on in the past off the football field, the locker room incident prior to the South Carolina game, the parking garage incident. It's stuff like that where I think it's fair to question whether that guy is going to have more of an effect on the locker room than the locker room will have on him. And so, with that noted, I've come to the point where I feel that I'm pretty much indifferent. You know, if he winds up a Sooner, okay, see what you can get out of him. His last year at the collegiate level, if he doesn't wind up a Sooner, that's certainly not a guy that I think you're going to be looking over your shoulder, wishing that he were or wishing that he had landed with Oklahoma. Um, I, from a sheer competition standpoint, I do think he'd be good for a guy like Jacoby Johnson, just because, at that point, it almost maybe wake up call is the wrong phrase, but maybe spurs Jacoby Johnson to kick it up a notch, because you have Gentry locked into a starting spot, you have Eli locked into a starting spot, and now you have another veteran coming into the room that, provided he keeps the train on the tracks in a proverbial sense,
Mhm.
well then, from a sheer football standpoint, the hope would be he can rub off on some of those younger guys, and the same technique and savvy and physicality that helped make him a five-star prospect uh, is absorbed by those younger guys via osmosis, if you will, by repping alongside him on the practice field. We got
Well,
to get caught.
apparently, one, if you add him, you are now SEC ready because adding somebody like that is you've now become part of the SEC lore as far as having those types on your roster. Two, it, people are now like shunning Eli Bowen and saying like there now it's the height issue and that he's not tall enough to cover in the SEC and all that type of stuff. I the defense was good last year and it's gotten good enough to the point I think people are starting to nitpick little things to be upset about on the defense because when you've been as bad as they have on defense for so long and as good as Oklahoma has on offense, when you see the offense go down, you can gripe all you want. And you're so used to griping about the defense. Now you got to find things to gripe about on defense. A freshman All American, consensus first team freshman All American is now something that is not good enough or tall enough to cover the big wide receivers in the SEC. Maybe, maybe not. The other thing with that is literally said that Alabama was where you saw that he struggled against the big wide receivers. Was that not his best game of the year for Eli Bowen? Did I watch a different? I just want to know. Did I watch a different game?
Alabama was his best game. I mean, that was the game where he had the pick,
Just checking.
right?
Yeah.
That was a game where he locked down Ryan Williams. Yeah, I mean, LSU was really the only game where it felt like, okay, Eli Bowen's a freshman, and you can tell. All the other
Yeah.
games, and especially Alabama, man, he was dynamite.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. People are saying our audio is bad for some odd reason.
Yeah, I don't. Is that true?
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, we'll just keep trucking through it, and
All
hopefully,
right.
yeah, everybody. There are others saying good on my end. And our producer who is monitoring the stream has also said
Okay.
that we're good. So apologies if some of you are having issues. Those issues are apparently not happening for everyone. Not sure what the deal is there. But let's get back to super chats. Robert Jones threw us $5. Thank you, Robert Jones. He said wanted to give a huge welcome to the SEC to Auburn and Bama. Real question though, who are the realistic top 5 DC candidates for the open position? Well, let me do my best to answer this in haiku form. It's about one guy. I cannot say, or I can't say a name to you. Take a guess or two.
Well, I think we're supposed to rhyme in haikus.
No, there's not supposed to be a rhyme.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not necessarily. It's just about the syllabic structure. So I guess I maybe unintentionally rhymed there, but yeah, you don't have to rhyme. So there you go, Robert Jones. I mean, I wouldn't expect that anything shakes this week necessarily, but I also don't feel like we're too far out at this point from knowing who Oklahoma's next defensive coordinator is going to be. Smarf Magoosh.
Real quick on that. I was told that everybody will know, at least as far as the staffing and the numbers and the finances and all that, of what Oklahoma donors and or Joe C, everybody will be willing to put into the 2025 version of the Oklahoma staff monetarily, as far as raises, all that type of stuff, 3 to 6 days after the national title game. And it could come quicker than that, but that was kind of the time frame I was given. So
Smarf Magoosh gave us $10. Thank you, Smarf.
Yeah,
He sent
he just
us
did that. Yeah, I saw it.
he
Yeah.
sent us a haiku of his own. Thank you for your contribution. Jacob Matthews with $5 says, any news on how we might be improving the training staff this offseason, or is this season just being chalked up as a fluke? Do
I
you want to try
don't
to
know. Okay, here. Yeah,
you
yeah,
give the
yeah,
longer
yeah.
answer and I'll
No,
formulate a
I'll
haiku
do the
like you.
haiku real quick.
Okay.
I'll do the haiku real quick. Not much to say. Venables and Josie pushing off another day. What would be the last verse here? It still needs fixed. How about that?
That was 4 13
I
4.
I know I tried seven, but I had to get both their names in there because they're the ones in charge of all that bull crap. But look, things are going to change. It's just not going to happen as fast as you all want it to. I think that answered it, right?
I would say so. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, we'll try to nail down a haiku in its more standard form.
I know. I couldn't. I
On the
wanted to get
next
Josie and
super chat
BB's name
question.
in it. 575's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, you got to be quick with it. Got to be concise. Got to find those small words too. Can't really fit a big word into a haiku.
You cannot.
Sometimes you can squeeze a 3 or 4 syllable word into that middle line, but other than that, you got to keep it real short staccato type. Hopefully everybody is refreshing and getting their stream issues fixed because as far as the stream output is concerned, it looks like we're good. So if you're
Yeah.
experiencing issues, try reloading the page, and you should be all right. But Brandon, we don't have any super chats to catch up on right now. Um, what did you think being down in San Antonio and watching Ryan Foje and Tristan Haynes compete
Mhm.
alongside some of the best in the country? And also, not just those two, but several underclassmen in the 2026 class that Oklahoma has offered and is pursuing.
Yeah. First off, core reading. No, I took AP Lit, but I what I thought was there was a lot of really solid, like there was like this buzz going around that the talent wasn't going to be what it normally was when we first got there, and then all of a sudden, all these guys started showing up, and there was a lot of walk-ins that they did not expect to show up, whether it was weather that potentially was holding them up, whether it was whatever, I don't know. They all showed up. You know, Jaden O'Neal was there. That was fun to see him compete against Faison Brandon. Like that was fun to see them go back and forth at each other, throw for throw. Um, I don't know, man. I thought I thought Foje looked really well and practiced really well. Just he is not a center. You can tell that that was not his
Yeah.
strong suit. But good on him for doing it. I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't have stepped up, and he was like, "I'll do it." And so, um, that was another little feather in his cap, right? I thought Tristan Haynes competed well. He competed hard. Um, he's going to be a good player. He's just got to get some more, he's got to get bigger and stronger. Um, my favorite player there outside of Jaden O'Neal was Jaden Brewster. He was a dog, dude. He was so good. Elijah Harmon was awesome. I thought those guys were fantastic, man. Just fantastic. David Thomas was really, really, really good. While my light went out. And the Robbins kid from Deer Creek was pretty special too. He's fast, real fast.
Um, Big homie Jay checked in in the chat and said, Parker looks like a Disney Channel bully. This is this is why I don't this is why I haven't adopted this look as my standard. But for one night, for your guys' sake, I will hand it. If you're just joining us midstream, the reason I have a backwards ball cap on is because we hit our super chat goal last week, and part of the deal was we're gonna have a giveaway, and I have to wear a backwards hat this week on air. So I am I'm holding up my end of the bargain. Let's go back to the YouTube chat here. Uh, Chuck Kearney says Parker got that the chipmunk look going on. Corey Reedy says Parker looks like he was saved by the bell. Uh, Jason One says, how was Tristan? He has SEC size, not sure about his speed. Now, watching Tristan Haynes, two things are apparent, right? He does have the speed. He absolutely has the speed.
Speed will
SEC,
never be an issue.
yeah, I'm not worried about Tristan Haynes' speed. If something concerns me about his game, that is not it. And I think he's probably a guy that redshirts just because he needs to add weight, and that's fine. Like with where Oklahoma's at in the cornerback room, he does not need to be on the field. He should not need to be on the field in year one. So I would think similar to Jeremiah Newcomb this past year, Davon Jordan didn't take a red shirt, and that was kind of out of necessity because they needed him at a certain point in the season. But I think Tristan probably redshirts year one. I think the hope would be you can redshirt either or either and Malik Hawkins and Cortland Guillory. Who knows what that depth actually looks like? Who knows what Oklahoma does in the transfer portal to solidify that cornerback rotation? If you can redshirt all three, that would be fantastic. Is that plausible? Is that realistic? I don't know. Like Malik, especially because he can add a lot of value on special teams. And I don't mean as a returner. I mean as like a gunner, punt team type dude. If if anybody doesn't redshirt, I would think for sheer versatility's sake, it's probably Malik Hawkins. But certainly the ideal outcome would be you can redshirt all three of those guys. Give them 4 games if you want to, if you can. And then they save their eligibility and they're ready to be your foundational dudes in the years ahead. Because at this point, Brandon, like you're going to need those guys. You're going to need all three of them at some point. And if Eli Bowen maintains his current trajectory, he's probably a 3-and-done guy. You got 2 more years of Gentry Williams. You got 2 more years of Jacoby Johnson. And so there will come a time and a time.
Gentry may be one if he can stay
he
healthy.
may be. My point, like maximum 2.
Yeah.
Maximum 2 with Gentry Williams. So there's going to come a point at which you're turning to Davon Jordan, Jeremiah Newcomb, and this crop of freshmen here. And hopefully everything holds as far as the health of that room such that you can allow those guys to develop at their own pace. And you don't have to force them on the field earlier than they're ready. And if they are ready early, I think that potential exists for Malik, certainly exists for Cortland Guillory. Then, see what they got as freshmen. That's what non-conference play in my mind is for with Malik, Cortland, and Tristan. All three is take the chance early in the season, giving those guys some reps. I don't know if you necessarily want to throw them in against Michigan, but see what you got in non-con play, and then maybe just maybe you hit the jackpot with one or multiple of these dudes, and you get a situation like you had with Eli Bowen, where he starts the season with a snap here, a snap there, a drive here, a drive there, and then where he really turned the corner was that Tennessee game when Kendall Dolby got hurt and they had to shuffle things. And then by mid-season, you're talking about Bowen being the best cornerback on the roster.
Yeah. Again, I think Haynes is going to be a fantastic player. He trains with, oh my gosh, I just went blank. Oh my goodness, center 7 coach. Holy crap. Had we not been talking about it, I would be able to tell you exactly who he trains with. But anyways, he has one of the better trainers in all of Dwight Dobbins. My gosh, went blank there. He trains with Dwight Dobbins, one of the better trainers, one of the more known trainers around here and around this region as far as cornerbacks go. He just needs to beef up. Cortland Guillory to me, he just has that. I don't know. He's the it when I watch him, and it feels like a lot like Devon Jordan, right? Like it feels like a lot like Day Day, where he's going to come in and he's going to push for some PT. I don't necessarily think. I don't want to predict an Eli Bowen ascension because I think that's just so rare what happened with him.
Yeah.
But if he can be a Day Day type of ascension where he can come in and compete, get in the rotation, and at least add a good depth piece, I think that's a win-win for Oklahoma as far as the freshman DBs go. Um, I want to ask you this: as far as the wide receivers go, highest upside of all the new guys. We were talking about this on the phone. I said I wanted to save the conversation for the live tonight. Highest upside out of everybody they've got coming back, not Burks and not Jaden Gibson. Throw those guys out. We know what they can be, and they can be elite.
Certainly.
Let's the other guys. Who has the highest upside as far as newcomers go for
The safe answer
2025?
the safe answer is Giovanni Gibson. The bold answer, I think, is Manny Choice. What say you?
I mean, yeah, I said that on the phone with you earlier. So I think, yeah, I think of all the transfers, yes. As far as freshmen go, those two, man, that's a tough one because I think they're both going to be elite when it's all said and done. But I'll go Elijah Thomas just because I don't know what it is about him, but I think he has a chance to be I think he might be special as a freshman. I really do. I
Both of those
really
dudes,
do.
man, those two
I
freshmen,
know it's hard to pick.
they are so good. They're going to be studs at the University of Oklahoma. I don't know when. I don't know how quickly it happens, given the depth in that room, but man, so high on both of those guys.
Right.
So high. Um,
We have other super chats, don't we?
we
Got a
do
few.
Boomer Sooner, very generic name.
We want to tell
Give us
everybody real quick that the goal is the $20 in 1999, whatever that. If we reach the goal, everybody that put in for the 1999 super chats, we'll throw you in and we'll give away 2 tickets to the OU Texas game on Wednesday night for OU basketball. Should be a good game. Oklahoma, you would think, would win. You would think.
would you?
I think they're favored, so you would think they would win. That's never a guarantee when Porter Moser in conference play.
No, it's not. Boomer Sooner asks, thanks for covering the Sooners and keeping us informed. Question: any chance BV just moves into DC role this
Yes.
season?
Oh, whoa, 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 and not be the head coach? No, but yes, he would be the play caller. If that was to happen, it would be, from my understanding, at that point, Wes Goodwin would be brought in to be the linebackers coach, and or they would just bump up Skalski and or like a Rufus Alexander type to be the linebacker coach, and you would have Brandon Hall, you would have Todd Bates kind of building the game plan during the week, along with the help of Jay Valai and all that type of stuff. And then Wes Goodwin obviously would be in that mix if he was hired, but BV would be the one calling the plays on game day. That's how that would work. And then if things got right, and let's say they go 8-4 or 9-3 or whatever, and they're able to stick around for 2026, at that point, from my understanding, Brandon Hall would be the DC moving forward in
To
2026 and
to
beyond.
sum it all up in haiku form,
Yeah, I'll let you do
if
that.
it does happen, it likely means Wes Goodwin. I do not hate it.
There you go.
On to the next. Jesus Saves gave us $5 and said, Parker and Brandon, please both answer me this question. Do you feel good about Oklahoma football with Brent as the leader? Do you want to take a stab at this or should I?
I'll take a stab at it. You
Okay.
can do the haiku version if you want
Okay,
to.
I will do the haiku version once you're done giving the
Elongated.
unabridged version of
Yeah.
the answer.
So, oh man, yes, in a way I do. Yes. So the defense is on good, solid ground right now. Why I feel good about 2025 being better than 2024 is because, in my opinion, and maybe I'm crazy, I don't think I don't think you can have the mass injuries again. I think that has to be a once in a lifetime situation because I've never seen that before. And you would think you would never see that again. You would think. Now, if it happens back to back seasons, yo, like there, there's probably some lawsuits going to happen because there's zero reason for half the roster to be, half the starting depth chart to be out. Like that should never happen. So, yes, I think from a depth perspective, yes, I do think they're moving in the right direction. The injury part, they've got to fix the medical issue. They got to fix the training situation. I think a lot of that leads into some of the problems they're having with the soft tissue stuff in season, but that's my opinion. You get that fixed. You got John Mateer at quarterback now. You got Ben Arbuckle running things. You now have so much experience on the offensive line, an experience that you didn't expect because of all the injuries. You've got experience at wide receiver that you did not expect because of all the injuries. So things are better in those situations. You're deeper just because of the fact you had to throw those poor freshmen out there to get their butt kicked this year. And they're probably better for it long term. So in that aspect, yes. Do I think there's issues? Oh, hell yeah. I think there's a lot of problems. I think he's got to learn in-game management a lot better. He's got to learn how to not wear his players down during fall camp. He did it in 2023. He didn't wear him down. He reared back everything and then all of a sudden thought he had to ramp it back up to go into the SEC. He's got to return back to 2023 version of Brent Venables. If that version is around, Parker and Jesus Saves and everybody listening, you probably win a lot more games in 2025. But
Yeah.
that dude's got to be there. He's got to take a step back and look and go, I got to be that guy from now on. And that's CEO Brent, by the way.
To sum it up in haiku form, the jury is out. This fall will fill in the gaps. I am very torn.
That's why I kind of rode the fence there. But yes, I do think they're all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to answer your question in my own words, Jesus Saves. I don't know. I wouldn't say I feel great about it, but by no means do I think this is circling the drain territory for the program. You're kind of
Yes.
you're kind of stuck in no man's land where on the one hand you have to give people a reason to believe in your program, but on the other hand there's very obviously a path to success in 2025 and a path to achieving all of your goals. And it's not going to take the proper alignment of the universe for it all to occur.
Mm-hmm.
You have dudes on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
You have
Best
a quarterback.
roster he's had, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I don't know if I 100% agree with that. I think we discussed that a couple of weeks ago on the live.
Yeah, there's a lot of people inside the Switzer Center that feel like this is their most talented roster that they've had.
That is
And
true.
if they do not win, there's a big problem. Well, schedule.
I look forward to hearing you attempt to answer this in haiku form.
Oh, please
Norman
don't.
Riverwind Tornado 63 gave us $2 and said, I got a question. Is Brandon a 6 milligram guy?
I don't even know what that means.
He's referring to Zin, I believe.
Zen.
Are you
As
a
in,
Zin guy?
no,
No Zin?
no Zen.
Okay.
What is Zen?
You don't even know what Zin is?
Is that the like the dip?
Yeah, that's the Bill Bedenbaugh approved nicotine pouches.
Ugh, bro. People are gonna make fun of me. I've never even tried a cigarette.
I haven't either.
So
We're the
like, I mean, like,
we're the straight edge insiders.
I smoke cigars, but I've never tried a cigarette in my life. And I've
Next
tried other things. Let's in college I may or may not have done other stuff
next time you cook one
think
of the
gummies.
competitors
Yeah.
in a source off, you got to post the Dan Lanning pic with a stogie. Let them know. HTX fan 20 asks if there was a new DC from outside of OU, would they bring in their own staff?
No.
That's not a
Zero.
haiku.
Okay, here about this. No, 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 no. How about that?
You ended up one syllable short.
No.
There you go.
I thought I did five on the last one, but no.
Oh, yeah, it came up with the cheat code on that one. Sooner Cowboy says BD is a black and mild guy.
Ah, black. Ooh, no, no,
You've
bro.
never had a black and mild.
Uh, I'm a cigar snob. If I'm gonna smoke a cigar, like it's gonna be like $100 cigar, if not more. So I've been in the when I was in California one time, I went and bought like two or three Cubans back when they were like super illegal and hard to get. And I got like this Cuban like back you had to, like this dude opened like this door and was like back in this like room and there was like nothing like super illegal that you weren't supposed to have in America type Cuban that they like obviously brought in, and it was the best cigar I've ever had in my life. But I'm not much of a cigar. Like I don't smoke. Like I think the last time I smoked a cigar was probably 3 years ago. Yeah,
Wow.
special occasions.
Jason in the chat says there's plenty of meth in Philly when OU visits if you want to try some. I've never been to Philadelphia.
Oh, it's awesome. Philly's great.
It's awesome, really, because you might be the only person that has ever given me positive reviews of Philadelphia.
I lived right south of Philly in the Philly metro area
Mm.
for 6 years, so I love Philly. My son, my oldest boy, was born up there. Um, so yeah, I love it. I love Philly. Market Street isn't for everybody, but if you go to the history part of it, it's great. Uh, if you're a bit you if you go, you got to go to the King of Prussia Mall. That mall is amazing.
They still do malls in 2024 or 25, I guess.
King of Prussia is awesome, awesome.
That's the name of the place, King of Prussia.
King of Prussia is up by Vanderbilt, or sorry, Villanova. Excuse me, Villanova. It's by Villanova. Yep.
All right then.
Yeah,
King
and
of
the
Prussia.
cheesesteaks. The cheesesteaks are awesome.
Really?
Correct.
Don't they make them with cheese whiz?
No,
They don't?
some do. I don't know. I never had one with cheese whiz on it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I forget who was giving me the intel on actual Philly cheesesteaks, but maybe it was my dad. That was like, yeah, they make them with cheese whiz, and that kind of turned me off.
Yeah,
It's
are
like,
you a
"Ugh,
Rocky
really?
fan?
Rocky.
Les Wilson said Rocky. The Rocky statue is pretty cool too.
I haven't seen Rocky.
The Ben Franklin Museum is awesome. Yeah, like. Anyways, sorry, Chuck. We will get back to football. I apologize. We digress. Uh, we got one.
Yes, John A. Myrick. $20. And she asked, if they bring in the big fish as DC, is his defense very different from Brent's? And I won't be able to go to the game if I win. Ugh, that's
Oh, I'm
tough, John and
sorry,
May, but we
Jonathan.
appreciate your
Yeah,
contributions
thank
anyway.
you.
Assuming we hit our goal, you'll still be in the running for a free OU Insider t-shirt. So consolation there. Do you want to give the haiku another shot, Brandon, or do you
No,
want to
I'm done with
give
the
the
haikus. You go.
comprehensive answer and I will sum it up with a
You can
haiku?
do the haikus, man, because I suck at them for one. Um, so there's that, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, look, um, that person's defense isn't much different than BV's. As a matter of fact, it's very, very, very similar. Structurally, how they the pre-snap, the way they go about things is a lot more simplistic. And I'm told that that is something that a lot of people across college football love about that person's defense is how simplistic their pre-snap structure is. Um, they would do a lot of things similar to BV. They would probably have to change they'd probably have to sit there and say, okay, we run this in Venables defense. What is that called? And they would change how they run it and name it the exact same verbiage in their defense as BV's always called it. So the players didn't have to learn new verbiage and they could equate it and learn it a lot quicker. So there's a lot of things that would be done very, very organically and they would mesh things together to make it work. And I don't think there would be that big of an issue at all. It would allow BV to be more hands off too with everything and more of a CEO.
To sum it up in a haiku, not dissimilar. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, it's not so easy, is it?
No. It was there. I had the whole haiku formulated and I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Yes, here it was. Here it was. Not dissimilar. Linguistics is the hurdle. It won't be that hard.
There you go. I'm gonna answer this Max Swearingen's because I saw it whenever you guys did your live thing on YouTube today. I just happened to be scrolling and I came across and I saw the question on there. So I decided I was going to hit Hoover up and I asked him. And I remember, Parker, I told you about this. When Hoover said that, he even said this was last week that he said. He didn't say it this week. He said it last week when it first started coming out. And he said no chance. And it wasn't any intel. He said it was just his gut feeling on things. If you ask Hoover now, he would tell you that he's starting to believe more into it. So there. Yeah, I would go ask Hoover because he's changing it up a little bit because he's hearing more concrete information. How about that? Um, do we want to talk basketball? No. Before
I
we
don't
didn't
want to
get to.
talk basketball,
No,
Brandon.
let's not. I don't want
I
to
don't
either.
want to talk
I want if
basketball.
they could freaking win, I would talk about them. But when they were 13-0, it's fun to talk about them. Now it's not so fun. I want to ask you this. You didn't give your take on the Navy Combine. What stood out to you? Because I said a couple of names that stood out to me. What stood out to you?
A guy that I've been watching and been very, very high on for a long, long time, back when he was just a 3-star, is 2026 offensive tackle Felix Ojo.
Mm-hmm.
Love that kid. The best way I can describe him is he has the length of Lamont Rogers, but the build of Michael Fasusi. Now, right now, he is considered a 4-star prospect, a high 4-star prospect. He's a number 76 player in the country, according to Rivals. So his stock has continued to move upward over the last several months since his junior season kicked off. he did not look out of place with some very highly ranked senior linemen at the Navy All American Bowl. That's also a guy that Oklahoma has been pursuing since very early on in the process.
Mhm.
They weren't his first offer, but they were well ahead of the curve. I would say I believe they were his first big time offer. I mean, you think about the schools that constitute the big time group, if you will. Oklahoma was far, far ahead of a lot of the other involved schools in terms of starting to build that relationship with him. And he appreciates that. He respects that. And that to me is why there might be another Michael Fasusi situation brewing here, where Bill Bedenbaugh's just had a stranglehold on the relational component of that recruitment for long enough that OU could be tough to deny. Now, he's going to take visits to a bunch of schools unofficially this winter and spring. He's going to take a whole batch of OVs, as I understand. At least that's the plan right now. But Oklahoma's up there for Felix Ojo. And so really, really interested to see how high he rises in the rankings, because I think he has 5-star potential. And then secondly, can Oklahoma maintain the foothold that they have long
Yep.
established? So he was one that really stuck out to me. He played some guard, played some tackle. I think he's a tackle at the next level. He's just too tall to be a guard. He's 6'7", maybe 6'8". Big, big kid. So
Mhm.
like his game a lot, love the potential, love the athletic ceiling, and he is one that I'm going to be watching closely as his recruitment continues to unfold. Shane Collins gave us a $20 super chat and said, if we get the big fish DC, would Peyton Bowen play that Caleb Downs middle of field playmaker position type? And how do you think he would do in that? Or Spears Jennings? Someone else?
Kendall Dolby. You talking about the middle? Oh, middle of the field. Yeah, I think probably Spears Jennings because he's the free safety. The strong safety is obviously Peyton Bowen playing the Billy Bowman spot. I I don't hate that. Maybe a Michael Boganowski type, or a Jaden Hardy. Amarian Robinson would be really good back there in that spot. I think Amarian Robinson would fit great in that defense with the way he plays. There, I don't want to say too much. There would be a lot to like with Oklahoma's personnel with that person's defense. A lot to like. There is a lot of similarities between Oklahoma structurally, personnel wise, and obviously Ohio State and how they go about things with defensive tackle, edge rushers, all that.
To sum it up in a haiku, you have options there. You have to make the hire first. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Very true. Everybody's kind of getting the cart before the horses here. But I think is the longer that it drags out, the more people start to believe because they essentially, and they're probably right. If the hire was just going to easily be Wes Goodwin, and that's what it was,
That would have been done a long time
it'd
ago.
have been done a long time ago.
Long time ago.
So there you go.
There's a reason we're still sitting here waiting on the
Correct.
next DC at the University of Oklahoma.
Look, 6 more to give away the basketball. I know basketball is not that hot of a commodity right now because they've lost 3 in a row, but I want to remind everybody that they still have a chance to be an NCAA tournament team, and they are good enough to make a run. Porter just has to get out of Porter's way. I think that's essentially how that goes when it comes to the conference play. But it doesn't hurt to want to be there and support them, and we're willing to give it away for free to you guys. I know the tickets are pretty decently priced right now. So, modern day caveman, thank you, appreciate the super chat. Who are top 2 starts at tight end and top 3 at running back in 2025? I'm gonna say Devon Mitchell and Caden Helms will probably be your top 2 tight ends. in 2025. Running back, I mean, Salchuk, um, probably go X and Barnes slash Tatum. I don't. Damn, that's tough, bro.
Yeah. You got to leave
Um,
somebody out.
yeah.
Mm.
Do you leave Barnes out just because he can't stay healthy?
Here's my thought. My thought is they're not going to get through the spring without somebody transferring.
I
I don't
agree
know
with
who that
that.
is, and I don't want to speculate as to who that might be, but it's just too crowded of a backfield right now.
Hmm.
Something's got to give.
Yeah. I there's a there. I'm gonna let you all know a little secret here, and I see people saying automatically Sawchuk's out, which I think is just everybody knows they think I just have like this infatuation with Sawchuk. I'm telling you guys that the offense that they're bringing in and what the people around the program believe is that they're going back to what Sawchuk fit. Like the way they ran that offense this year wasn't conducive for straight ahead. That's not who Sawchuk is. He's a patient guy. They're going back to that patient zone, find your space and go type of running option. So automatically throwing him out the window. I think it's crazy. He did run for 800 yards the year before. He was hurt for a majority of last season. I just I don't think Tatum's going to be it. I don't think Robinson. There's a part of me that thinks Barnes is the guy that maybe I'm crazy. Like if you had to pick, who do you think it would be?
Well, I will give you my answers in a haiku form. They're the
Oh
same as
God.
yours. Vaughn and Helms at H.
Yeah.
Sawchuk, Barnes, X at RB. There you go, my friend.
Yeah. Um, do you just what about Tatum in baseball?
What about Tatum in baseball?
I don't know. I think you want to know what, and this was brought up to me, like the fact that he is going to play baseball when he should be. He struggled with the offense this year, right? Learning the offense. He's got to learn a new one in the spring, and a lot of that time he's going to be playing baseball. Is that where your head's at with that, with your decision there? A little bit.
I just I think there's more trust to be placed right now in Sawchuk, Barnes, and X than there is in Tatum. Like Tatum, I don't think this has ever been a question. He has the absolute highest ceiling of anyone in that backfield. And it's not close. But he's got to hold on to the football. That's the prerequisite for being on the field. That's the prerequisite for going where he wants to go at Oklahoma. He's got to hold on to the football.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I think that's if you're going to turn the ball over, you know, that's probably the biggest issue.
Christopher Moon
Um,
said, I'll make it easy. Sam Franklin is out. I I forgot he was still around, if I'm being completely honest. There probably won't be much of a role for him.
would you be surprised if Blaylock just blew everybody away and just broke into the rotation?
I would be surprised. That's a lot to ask of any freshman running
Oh, I
back.
agree. I
Um,
agree.
so yes, I would be surprised. I don't think it's necessarily out of the question. COG gave us $2. No question, just $2. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
So, I mean, and for instance, we didn't see well, we saw freshman struggles from Taylor Tatum, and
Hmm.
we didn't see Xavier Robinson crack the rotation until game 10.
Hmm.
So, I don't want to put too much too soon on a kid.
I, at the end of the day, DeMarco's got to get the rotation better. Like one way or the other, you've got to let somebody like he used to let Kennedy Brooks rock, right? He would
Hmm.
let um didn't matter whoever it was, Sawchuk when he got hot in 23. You just rode those guys. What happened to that? Like Stevenson, like he just like got away from Eric Gray, like got away from doing that. And I don't understand. And I get, I'll say what one source said to me, the running backs, and they were talking in particular about uh, Sawchuk and X at the end of the year. Product of their circumstances is what they called it. And they were talking about the offensive line, the issue. They said they are a product of the circumstances around them right now, with the offensive line just not doing what they needed to do in the run game. But even in the Armed Forces Bowl, Sawchuk hot, averaging almost 8 yards a carry. And then he ran the ball twice in the second half. Like, how does that even happen? Like, you have 60 yards in the first half. You're like, yeah, you know what? We're done with that guy. On to whoever else they want to throw in there. Sam Franklin. How about we throw 2 pop screens in a row to you, brother? Like, I'll never understand the rotation there. It makes no sense. And that's been the biggest problem for the running backs. They've never, I don't care who it is, whether it was Tatum, whether it was Robinson, or well, the Robinson, they just rode him. They rode him at Bama, and look what happened. They rode him at Missouri at the end of the game, and look what happened. Every time he got a running back that he would just ride and let run the ball 12, 15 times, they were magnificent, Parker. It makes no sense. And I know he's trying to keep everybody happy, but that's not how to win ball games. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
All
And
right.
unfortunately, we have not reached our super chat goal for the evening.
We have not. Nobody wants to go to the back. That I think
Tragic.
that encapsulates everything about the OU fan base when it comes to basketball. Period. Doesn't they could be a Final Four team and they're like, we don't care.
That's on us for trying to give away basketball tickets.
Yeah.
Everybody heard that and they were like, "Nope, I'm out."
Freaking, you can have Buddy Hill, Blake Griffin, and Trey Young on the same team, and they'd be like, "No, we don't want to go watch. We don't want to go to Louisville and watch them play." Is it football? Then no. It's a softball? Then
Oh,
no.
they'd watch that trio.
Yeah, I'm making a joke, man.
But as soon as that trio lost a game,
they would be out like, screw them, screw them, we're out.
oh man, it's a chicken or the egg predicament, right? Do you need the fan support in order to have a winner?
At some
Or
point,
do you
being in
need a
the
winner in order
SEC,
to have the fan support?
at some point, being in the SEC, I love you guys, but at some point, you got to start showing up and helping the basketball program out because everybody in the SEC shows up and shows out for basketball. Like they love their hoops.
And
It's
baseball
where, like,
too. That's going to
and
be
baseball. That's gonna be the interesting one. Yep, baseball. It's crazy. Anyways, all
All right.
right. That's gonna do it for this version of the OU Insider Under the Visor YouTube Live, powered by Riverwind Casino. Thank you guys for being on here with us. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube or whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on, subscribe. Give us thumbs up. Give us 5 stars. Help us out, please. If you're not subscribed to OU Insider VIP, subscribe. $9.95 a month, $99.95 for the whole year. Lots of information going. I just dropped the defensive tackle note that you guys are going to want to love. Future 5-star, 100%. Crap. KW Billings, appreciate the 20. Go ahead.
Instead of always blaming fans for attendance, maybe the athletic department should address the actual problem, which is the atmosphere and environment at OU events. It is horrendously boring and lame.
Facts.
Very little
Facts.
thought.
No.
Yeah,
no, we don't disagree with that. Yeah, that's
truth
facts.
bomb.
That's facts.
Truth bomb. Which again, that's why I've said chicken or the egg.
Yep.
COGBIJ threw in another $5 and said, "Can you guys put a list of the 2025 class, the early enrollees, and the ones coming in the summer?" Yes, we can do that. We'll do that at ouinsider.com. There are very, very few summer enrollees. Only a couple. Everybody else is coming to campus, or is already on campus, I should say.
Yep. Okay. Thank you guys. If you are a college student, if you have a .edu email us at ouinsider@rivals.com. We will help you guys out, college students. $11.95. You get a whole year of OU Insider. We'll send you a promo code, ouinsider@rivals.com, but you have to email us from a .edu, and we will give you $11.95. Whole year of OU Insider. Again, we will email you promo code. Same with teacher. Email us from your teacher account and or active duty military. Email us from your active duty military account. ouinsider@rivals.com. We will give you OU Insider $11.95 for the whole year. All right. For Spencer Forsythe on the board, for Parker Thune, my name is Brandon Drumm. You guys have a blessed night.